It was the end. The world had finally screeched to a halt. It was only 3 months ago now that an awful smell wafted through the city. A smell that made almost everyone sick. Fever, panic, confusion. That's what the TV told everyone. Only they forgot to mention the flesh-eating part. The ones that got sick from the smell died and returned as lifeless killers. Most people didn't understand what was happening before they could react. Then, they were all that was left. Just monsters. Monsters wearing people's faces as a disguise. Jim was one of the lucky ones, you could say. He didn't get sick from the smell. He learned to fight and keep them out with barricades and fences. To Jim, it didn't seem like the end of anything. He never spent much time with people anyways, always fixing cars in his shop. The fences keep the monsters at bay. But what happens if they ever get in? What happens when the weapons are all gone and they are all that is left? Rotten shadows of people who were once just like Jim. Entertainment, cigarettes, booze. It fills the gaps a little bit. The people you will never see and all the things you took for granted. That is what you think about most when in peril. Sometimes helicopters would pass by, but they never landed. The thought of rescue was an inside joke for Jim now. Who would have thought the end of the world would come with such relentless, overwhelming boredom? It was like time died along with everybody else. Jim dreamed of a place outside the city where walls weren't needed, somewhere he could hunt and fish. He could live off the land and live out his days, far away from the stench of this slowly rotting city. There was only one problem. Jim's shop was nestled deep inside Louisville, and getting out would be next to impossible. It was a long drive packed with thousands of zombies, and the exit is fenced off from the military quarantine, so he had to get through the gates somehow. Jim was a mechanic his whole life, always crafty and able to fix up anything. He was also able to tune up his old sports car. He gave it more engine power, increased its speed and made it more durable, focused completely on this one goal since day one. Jim was finally ready to take the leap and escape the city, but first, there was one more thing he needed to do. Blow it all up. Everything. Jim rigged the place with explosives. Now there was no turning back, no retreat. It was him or them, Jim versus the road. This was Jim's destiny. If anyone could get out, it was him and his car. As expected, the roads were packed with those monsters. People who once lived, worked, and shopped here now mindlessly roamed the area searching for their next kill. Jim avoided them as best as he could, their numbers growing with every block. He was born for this moment. His eyesight was sharp, and his reflexes quick. The car was powerful and durable, and it handled beautifully. Jim knew how to drive fast and keep his cool under pressure. He finally felt alive again. Jim was taking back his life from this city. It wouldn't be his prison anymore. His bones shook, and his blood was on fire, now tearing through hordes, getting closer and closer to the edge of the city. Jim's driving was impeccable, never making a mistake. It was like the world was in slow motion for him. He accelerated and drifted around the groups with beautiful efficiency. His car was strong. He spent many months working on it before this moment, and he put the best parts he had into it. He knew he could make it. He knew he could escape. Jim pushed his way through the crowded streets until finally he could see it. The military checkpoint. He was so close to escape now, and freedom was in sight. Nothing would stop him. Nothing would slow Jim down. Not now. Not this close. All Jim needed was to get through the gates, and he was safe. The car can handle it. He made sure the engine was strong. He just needed to build up a little speed, and he could easily smash through the gate. He was going to do this. Nothing would stand in his way from leaving this city. The car slammed straight into a paper box. It stopped Jim dead in his tracks, but he was able to make it to the exit. His first attempt didn't break the gate, but once he gained some momentum, he could ram through it and easily drive to safety. He just needed to get the car started. The exit was right there, and then he could leave this city for good. The fight was almost over, and he had come so far. It was obvious that Jim was a survivor and would be relaxing in the wonderful countryside very soon. There was absolutely no reasons to believe that Jim was going to die. Right here. Right now. Absolutely none. Jim would never die. It wasn't even possible. Because Jim was, and always will be, a survivor. If you like this video, consider subscribing or giving it a thumbs up. It would mean the world to Jim and I. Thanks for watching.